Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 187th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and those sexy legends over at Audio Technica, but more on those guys later. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan 8bit, and the Timmy to my Tommy, you can find her at Miss Ellie Hart. Miss Ellie Hart, how you doing today? Hungry HQ Satellite Edition. The world is in shambles. What's going on?
I'm doing actually pretty well during this apocalypse. So yeah, I'm sitting pretty. I'm happy. I've got everything I need in the world. So how about you?
It is it's crazy. Like, sort of every day you sit there and go, what is going to happen tomorrow? And lo and behold, something changes, the crisis levels heighten, things get closed, restrictions are in place. Like, we're playing out our best post-apocalyptic video game or film fantasies right now. Like, Doomsday Preppers, I used to laugh at those shows, and now I'm sitting there going, mate, you smart sons of bitches.
Looks like those guys had a good idea.
Yeah, but the good thing is I don't have the coronavirus at this stage. Touch wood. It was pretty crook last week, and it sort of took a little bit of a turn for the worse over the weekend. Had some pretty bad sort of respiratory issues with a cough and a bit of a flu, but I'm feeling better, sounding better. Still got a little bit of a cough, but I'm surviving. The virus haven't got me yet, so that's a plus.
That is a plus, a very, very, very big plus.
Yeah, it's nuts though. Yeah. Like, I know we talk about this, and this is going to be probably a common thread between now and the next several months for not only us, but every other podcast or news outlet there is in the world. Like, but it still doesn't seem real to me.
There is a level of kind of unrealness. Like, I went and just did my average walk so I don't get cabin fever, and it was weird in the sense that there wasn't a lot of people in the streets, but there was still a lot of cars driving around. There was businesses kind of open. So it's just it hasn't fully synced in yet, but I don't know if it's happened for you guys yet, but they've closed off beaches, and just seeing these dead beaches is, that's kind of like a jolt.
That was one of the big reasons for our sort of heightened level of lockdown, is because over the weekend people just flocked to Bondi and were just on top of each other, and there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there. So the government, you know what? Fuck you, you stupid idiots. You know, you can't take these warnings, so we're going to lock these down completely, scale back the amount of people that are allowed in any one space. Like, we've had situations over the past 24 hours now where at a funeral, there's a maximum of 10 people permitted at a funeral and a maximum of 5 people permitted at a wedding. So that's the celebrant, the husband and wife, or, wife, husband, whatever it might be, and the 2 witnesses. So things like that, like everything's shut here, like beauty salons and everything closed overnight, tattoo parlors closed. The only things that are open is retail, supermarkets, doctors, and the post, really. That's it. Everything else is shut.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just the kind of case where it's if people don't want to take it too seriously, then unfortunately it has to go into other people's hands. Like the people that are going to complain are probably the same people who wanted to, who didn't care.
Yeah, I saw some video, and probably a lot of people out there saw the video circulating of all these, college kids on spring break.
Oh, yeah.
All at Florida and stuff, and, just young, dumb idiots, just naive to the world and this virus and whatnot. And
look,
yeah, it's all common sense.
There's common sense, and there's also about educating yourself. And unfortunately, we live in a day and age where false information can be, perceived as possibly true, but depending where who you are and how you want to view it. So it's an interesting time to be alive.
It really is, but a release of a game that we've both been playing couldn't have probably happened at a better time, with everything else going on, and now this self-isolation where the world has pretty much closed its doors and everyone pretty much has to stay inside for the foreseeable future. Animal Crossing New Horizons dropped. And this is my first foray. Anyone that's listened to this podcast a couple of times would know that this franchise is very near and dear to your heart. And you've been hanging out for this game for years.
Yeah.
Here it is. Maybe give us a bit of a feel, because you're the purist of this franchise. I'm new to it, no idea of how it played and how it worked until this past week. What do you think? Is this more of that good stuff? Is this the best entry to the franchise?
It's definitely more of the good stuff. They've added like little extra elements as well that kind of give it a bit of a fresh kind of, a fresh tone. But for the muchness in regards to gameplay, it's very much what we have known to be standard gameplay for Animal Crossing. Your general collecting of materials, collecting of items, selling of goods, making bells, which is the currency, and then paying off loans so you can just improve the surrounding, like the village or the town or the island in this case, and then also your abode. So you make your house bigger and then add rooms. So then you have like more areas to decorate, and you can buy items, different items, and you can now customize items, which is pretty incredible. Not a lot of, like, right now, like, it seems like, I wouldn't say half and half, but it seems like you can customize less, but it's better than nothing. And they've added this custom pattern thing, and people have gone wild because they actually let you share, create, and there's actually a website that lets you upload pictures, so then you can have these pictures, like very low quality pictures in Animal Crossing. And oh my god, people are either super creative or also super screwed in the head. But it's been fun. It's been great seeing what people are making out there. Yeah,
this is my first foray into this world, and holy moly, the bug has bit me. Like,
I know.
Jumped in on it. I'm all about this life, and I didn't really know how much this game would take hold of me. Like, I guess with the current global circumstances and things like that, there isn't a huge amount else to do apart from, play games, consume media, get out and about when you can for that limited time. But yeah, this is great. Like Rach and I have been just grinding this game out so much. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was sort of like a town or an island builder, or, a little world builder with cute characters and that sort of Nintendo quirkiness. And it's just sunk its claws right into me. I'm sort of I've upgraded my house past the tent to the house and then to the next level, and I'm just about to embark on the one where I get my next room.
Yeah.
So I've got that going on. I've got the shop that's up and running. I've got the museum going. I've just put in my second bridge. So it's happening slowly but surely. I've got 3 villages on my island at the moment. I've got 4 villages on my island at the moment. So it's cool that there's so much variety I didn't know. Like, I thought it was going to be almost the same experience for everybody, but obviously it's going to depend on northern or southern hemisphere for starters, and then which of those 4 starter islands you select, I'm assuming.
They're all random.
It's all RNG.
Yeah, I watched someone stream their beginning playthrough, and then I looked at all the islands they got to choose from. I'm like, I didn't get any of those options. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah,
I like that to it. And as an aside, I love that the internet is up in arms when they're getting certain characters, like certain island mates, and they're not the ones they like, so they just restart the whole game because they hate certain characters.
No, that's their own screwy fault. Well, the two. So what happens in the game is you go onto this island that you're going to establish, and you do get 2 randoms at the start. And then as the village grows, you get the optionals. I think at this stage I've gotten an optional 3 that can move in.
Yep.
The first 2 you don't get a choice, but if you actually start doing island tours, you can ask the people that are on those island tours to join your house. If you don't ask enough of them to join your island before you get to the stage where you start building additional homes, they'll pick them for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. I asked anybody. I haven't seen any new characters, though. I've done a few more island hops since and haven't seen any new characters on them. So my 2 starters, I've got Snake, who's like a little ninja rabbit. He's pretty cool. And then I had Phoebe, who's this sort of rocker peacock.
Yeah.
Can't stand her. She's a bitch. Always carries on. Actually complained to Isabel a couple of times to have some words to her about how she speaks to me and things. So she's a bit better now, but yeah, that was my starter too. And then I had Clay, who's like this little chunky. I don't know if he's a pug or like a little bear cub, but he's like in a little ninja suit as well.
Oh, okay.
Named Clay. And then I got Piper, who is like a little white bird, little high energy bird that runs around. And then the other one as I got was Ellie the elephant as well. So that's my crew that are rolling around Sharkfin Island, as I called it. What's your island called?
Oh, Souls Time.
Nice.
I'm not sure if anyone will get that reference.
I wish I had more characters to name your island. Only having 10 characters or whatever made it a little bit tough.
Yeah, see, the thing was I was going to call it, based off my company, but on the Fantasy Critic gaming thing that we got going on, I was going to call it TT Island. But then because they're constantly about, make sure it's more appropriate, make sure it's, not, rude or crude. And I'm like, I can't risk it, can I? So I had to go down another route.
Yeah, so who were your two starting island mates, and who are the three that you've picked up along the way?
Yeah, so I started with Goose, who's like a jock bro kind of chicken. And I also started with Hazel, who's this squirrel. I fucking hate Hazel. She's just annoying. She's just like constantly like, I had a feeling I'm going to run into you. Oh my God. Like, running into you again. And I'm like, fuck you. Like anyway. So I was actually really close to doing the thing to get her off your island, which is hitting her with a net just constantly.
Oh, really?
But then
and they leave the island if you do that?
Apparently. I stopped because she started crying. She goes, just leave me alone. Haven't you made my day any worse? And that hit me. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So she's sticking around.
That's heavy.
It was pretty damn heavy. So luckily, like, I just let her do her own thing. But luckily I have Goose, who's like the best bro ever. He works out in the plaza like every day. And then because of him, I'm like, all right. I met another chicken called Ava, so I invited her over. And then I met another chicken called Benedict, which seems like a really mean name of an animal that produces eggs. But I invited him over. So I've got 3 chickens, and then I've also got Apple, the hamster, and she's just cute as F. So
nice. So you've got a nice little squad there assembling on the island.
Yeah, like I only got my last one today. He moved in today.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so I'm haven't had anyone new because I guess full disclosure, you've been playing the purist route, right? You haven't been time jumping.
Yep, purist.
I have been jumping here, there, and everywhere. Only a few days here or jump back because for those that are unaware on Animal Crossing, obviously it's set to the in-game clock of your Nintendo Switch. And the game actually works off the real day-night cycle that your Switch is showing. So right now, for me, it's 11 a.m. It would be 11 a.m. on the Switch if I jumped in right now. But to advance certain things in the game, it's a 24-hour cycle for like your bridges and your buildings to actually take shape. It takes 24 hours once you've paid the piper. So but I don't like. It's very grindy. Like it's extremely grindy. Is this how the franchise has always been, or have they sort of doubled down on a little bit more with New Horizons, or
it's been
more of the same?
It's pretty much of the same. Like you're expected to meet these, like, well, I guess you're essentially paying back your loans. So you're trying to earn money any possible way that you can. And actually another element that they've added, because Tom Nook, who is essentially who owns your ass, he's developed this whole system. He gives you a Nook phone and you earn Nook miles, which is a good addition because it gives you challenges and things to meet during the day. So say if you were playing the purist form and you already you paid off your loan, so you're waiting for your building to be built. I mean, at least there's still things that you can do. You can earn Nook miles. You can continue going fishing and earn more money. You can, build up a collection. You can go on different tours and, get more exotic plants and fruits and bugs and fish and all that sort of stuff. So it's grindy, but it's like the most simple and purest form of grinding.
Yeah, it's a pretty casual grind. Like,
yeah.
I find myself, when I've got nothing to do, obviously go around and do my little wood chop routine, go around, chop all the wood from my trees, shovel my boulders, get my little bits of iron or clay or stone or whatever's going to pop out, and then I'll just go fishing. I'll just deep sea fish for like hours and then just fish, because that's the way you make the cheddar in this game. Like, I've found, at least, that's the way I make the most money, is by going fishing.
Bugs for me, I can like get tons of bugs and I just make that money easy.
Yeah, see, all the bugs on my island, they seem to be like a budget version almost. Like, you're getting a couple of $100 for most of the bugs, unless you see a few rare ones sniffing around. But at least with the fish, I can seem to land like puffer fish or cod or occasionally a shark, which is still amazing. Second, see that little fin, you're like, oh, is it going to be a great white or a hammerhead, or what's it going to be?
Oh, this is not fair. First of all, like, I suck at fishing. I'm too trigger happy. I can't not press the A button when I shouldn't. So I actually suck at fishing. But I just remembered you've got different fish from me. So
yeah. Pop on over.
So we're going to have to like island hop and get each other's exotic localized fish.
Yeah. So I'm really digging it. Like, it is a good fun little game. The characters are cute, the animation's great, the world is gorgeous. Like, doubling back to sort of once you get the museum set up, once you get Mr. Owl rolls into town.
Blathers,
what's his name?
Blathers.
Brett.
Blathers.
Was that?
Blathers or Blathers, yeah.
Blathers. Once he comes in and you get the museum set up, it is like going into a real life museum. Like, everything you catch, bug, fish, or when you're digging up fossils, which is also a kink of mine in this game, you can choose to donate them to the museum to get them stored. You don't really get any praise out of that apart from just a thank you so much from Blathers or Blathers. But you can then walk around this museum and it is huge. Like, there is so many wings showcasing all these creatures and things you've dug up or caught, and it is so gorgeous in there.
They have done
so pretty. They've
done so amazing with the museum. I actually appreciate the amount of detail that they put in there and that they paid attention, because in the last game they had the museum and it was, you could walk around a bit and show your friends, but the amount of detail and interaction and just like how like pure it is, like, the even the giant fucking dinosaur bones on exhibit, like, they don't fit on your screen, so you either have to look up or read the nameplate or whatever. And the detail, like, even though you're like a cartoon and everyone else around you is a cartoon, they actually have extremely detailed, like, representations of these like bones and fossils. And like, even with some of the fish, like, they have the little Critopia, is that what it's called? Critopia, the little thing on your app. So you can go through.
Oh, Critopedia,
that's it. And it's just so detailed on each. And Blathers will also tell you, if you so want to, that he will actually tell you information about the fossiled dinosaur or the plant or the bug or the, whatever you hand him over. So I think that's a really great element.
It's phenomenal. And as you said there at the end, like, it's a great little educational process. Like, if you want to learn more about these creatures, there's some decent legitimate information on most of these animals. So I've really enjoyed my time with that. I've actually got a full-size T-Rex skeleton in my house now. Of course you do. I've got all 3 pieces. I haven't donated that to the museum. It's all in my house.
He's just sitting...
taken up an entire wall.
Sitting at your window just looking at the T-Rex exhibit, just like...
Yeah, I've put like a 2-seater leather couch directly in front of it, so you can just sit down and just take it all in.
Marvel at it.
How's your house looking at the moment? Is it pretty pimped out? You got some pretty cool bits of furniture?
I always go down the most realistic route. Like, I always try not to make it a bit like, I don't try to go out of like the wilds that some people do. Don't get me wrong, some people have some awesome friggin' houses, but I just go your standard route. I make a lounge room, a kitchen, I've got a gym, I've got a study area, and then I've got my bedroom, which is all, you know, displayed, and I've got my sneakers hung up on the wall, and
Nice.
yeah, so
How many rooms are you still just on the single room, or have you upgraded and you got a couple of rooms now?
I'm on the single room, and I'm about to head to my second room, which is going to be
too.
my bathroom, because I have a toilet.
So, oh, nice. Yeah, I've sort of divided off like a little bedroom space with some bookshelves and things, and then I've got a little divider for a wardrobe area. I've made a little kitchenette, and then just displayed all kinds of cool things like globes and giant lucha libre wrestlers and
I still
ship in
don't
a bottle
have
and
that.
stuff like that.
Everyone has that lucha libre statue thing, and I'm like, how the frick do I get it? Like, I've never.
I
been
can
offered.
make it for you. I think it's only like 1,400 bells, so I
Okay.
can make that for you, and you can take one home with you today. But my goodness, there is so many collectibles, whether it be furniture, art pieces, or things just to hang up on the walls, whether it be stuff that you put out in the open world. Like I've started to build like a little sort of park or a little play area, little sand pit, and some like a little jungle gym and a little rocking horse thing and stuff like that. Just built a big ass fountain, so I've got a big fountain when you sort of first walk into the joint, so it's looking pretty swish. I think one thing that I wish that I'd sort of thought more about when I first started this game is the layout of where I was putting these houses
Yeah.
and whatnot. So I've ponied up some money to relocate my place. I'm now sort of on a separate part of the island over on like a little beachfront. I've got my little smoker and my little pizza oven in the backyard, sort of cooking away and whatnot. It's feeling very homely. But yeah, I want to move like the museum to the back end of the island. Like I've put a bridge in place that I got to pay off, and put the big museum in and make it like a big grand feature piece. Like this game could never end.
It really, yeah. It like there's still like a bunch of items that you probably haven't even seen yet. Like you don't even know that they exist yet. And then there's gonna be like events, and like there'll be your birthday celebration. Then there'll also be the celebration of your your island or your residents. They have birthdays as well, so it's they're gonna constantly bring up things, and they should have a fishing competition, which should make you happy.
Oh, I will perform pretty well in that. I'm all about that fishing life. On the topic of sort of this game as a whole, how many islanders do you end up having, or how many villages I should say, does it cap out at? Does it cap? Is it infinite until you just run out of space?
I feel like it would have to cap out eventually, only because for starters, they're just got to keep on making things work in the background. Multiplayer, it's like tops of 8. So I would assume that they would probably go around the same lines. I personally haven't read anything about how much more you can have. I'm wondering if once you, let's say, get rid of a villager, how they go about replacing them.
Yeah, like, because from what I've seen, there's like over 100 or thereabouts 100 villages available.
Oh, yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
So surely you're going to get a large portion of those to scatter around your island and turn it into a thriving, hotbed of activity and getting people to come over and visit. Have you done much on the multiplayer side of it? Have you had many visitors? Are you doing much interactions?
Yeah, like I have this little Discord group where every morning we will post what our turnip prices are, because there's turnip trade. I can't say that word. Turnip trade.
You got there.
It's a hard word. And then we also post what's in our shops. So, we're all like, kind of like saying like, I've got this item in my shop, and like, oh, I've got this item in my shop. Okay. And then there's also the fruit trades and the clothing trades. So yeah. So we're constantly all between islands, and yeah.
Where do you get turnips from? Like, obviously, this is a big thing now. I haven't seen anything on my island, and I've only done 2 island visits since the turnip things popped up. But both islands had oranges like I do.
I think as a time jumper that you are, you actually will have issues with the turnip lady, because turnips, she will only appear Sunday morning, and then you have to physically hold on to those turnips and you will pick a day that you will sell them. And it's kind of like the stock market. The prices go up and down and fluctuate, so you have to decide when you're going to sell them. But I've heard if you mess around with time while holding them, they just go rotten.
Well, I'm gonna cycle back in time, Sliders style or something, and see her on Sunday and get some turnips. So then I'm gonna cycle it back to normal and work forward from here, because I've sort of gotten to where I wanted to be. As far as gear and equipment, and now I'm just all about the terraforming of the environment. Like, I haven't got to the level where I can elevate parts of the area or sort of make rivers and stuff. I'm looking forward to that. I'm assuming that's probably a fair bit later down the line, though.
I'm disappointed to hear that not even you've reached it. So I'm like, God, I must be ages away.
Yeah, and even now, like, Isabel with the daily news update, she's like, no news, a little random factoid about what she's watching on telly, and that's about it. So, like, nothing new's been happening for the last 3 days. So I'm sort of in this weird holding pattern now where I'm just grinding to try and make enough money, because sort of Tom Nook is a criminal. We've started calling him Tom Crook.
He is not a criminal.
The prices he charges you for a relocation, so to move your house, it's 30,000 bells. To move another building,
a house.
50,000 bells.
You are moving a house. I think 30,000 is very justified. And you call him a crook. He takes no interest. He takes no interest on that loan. So whatever your loan is, that's it for the rest of the time. So it's up to you to pay it.
I'd love to know how much he's paying these labourers to move these. He's probably charging them, like, paying them 5,000 bells.
He says it himself. He builds. He does the building.
He never leaves. He's the fat cat of this island.
He does. He just sits in that fucking tent.
But yeah, like, he's a sweetheart of a little raccoon, but I trust him as far as I can throw him. Like, the loans on everything are ridiculous. Like, and I know it's built into the game to make it more of a slow burn and give you more of an experience and make sure you don't put this game down after a week. Like, they want you to play this for months. It's clear. And it's a game that you could play for months.
I reckon that Nintendo will actually be in a bit of a bind because, like you kind of mentioned earlier on in the podcast, like this, if there was ever a game that got released at the perfect time for this current events that are going on in the world, this is that perfect game. But I'm sure they weren't expecting for this game to be released at a time where everyone had all the free time in the world to play it all day.
Yeah,
so,
I'm genuinely curious if they're going to bring out any form of microtransaction in this game where you could buy X amount of bells or Nook miles.
I mean,
like, hand to heart, I would be dropping money on this to be able to get things to buy my way just to build my bridges and my infrastructure, and then I can grind the rest out. But, like, 168,000 bells for a shitty bridge? Come on now. It's bullshit.
It's pretty funny actually hearing this from a new player's perspective, because, like, you going angry at all these prices and everything, I'm just sitting over here going, yeah, this is normal. What the hell are you angry about? Like, nothing's for free. In regards to microtransactions, I really don't know. This is a kind of a new time. So in the game, in Pocket Camp, they obviously did, because it was a free download game, so microtransactions were built in. But I mean, this is a paid game, so
yeah,
I really hope that I hope if they do, it's going to be purely cosmetic.
Yeah, and it makes sense for them to do it. Like, it is the biggest launch in the entire Animal Crossing series to date, and it is the second biggest launch on the Nintendo Switch behind Pokemon Sword and Shield. So everyone is going bonkers for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Like, you scroll Twitter, and every second post, at worst, seems to be about Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Whether it be people sharing how their house looks, or something they've made in the creator space, or a big fish they've caught, like a big sunfish, great white shark, whatever it is. Like, it is a game uniting and bringing the world together, it feels like, which is kind of cute and sweet in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom Nook, mate, I'm watching you. You're a criminal.
Leave him alone. I'm actually really happy to see people like you and, like, even other people on my feed who are like, you know what, I've never played this game before, but everyone loves it. I'm gonna buy it. And then next thing you know, they'll message me and they're like, oh, I got this and I got that, and how do I do this? And so like it's been so nice, like guiding all these new people through just the Animal Crossing universe and telling them tips and tricks and all the other little things that kind of happen behind. So it's really, really cool, especially like how long I've been waiting for this game, and just seeing it, and just also seeing the positive impact it has as well for people right now. So it's been really good.
It really is great. And yeah, just the little things, like the attention to detail, the sense of community, not only from your villagers, but when you do open up your gates and you can have all your friends come in, or you could, obviously jump to their island to see what they're up to. Then you can just roam around and do whatever. Like I had NATO, Kaz, and Nasi just randomly roll in last night as I was on my fishing trip. And then I'm off fishing, trying to farm my bells, sorry. And then when I came back to my village, I'm pretty sure it was NATO. I'd put money on it was him or Nasi. I don't know which one of the two. But I came back and there was just holes dug all the way through my central island, like probably 50 holes that I had to fill in. And it could have been because I was just off fishing, like I was sort of ignoring them a little bit because I was trying to make them bells. But yeah, that was a bit cheeky. Like I'm happy they can't sort of destroy buildings and things like in a Minecraft. But they can be a little bit of a nuisance.
Yeah, so when you give someone best friends privilege, they can do some damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can have friends over, like you can have people that are your friends, like, you can open it to them, and they're very limited to what they can do. They can usually just walk around and see what's going on. But when you do best friends, that's when the shovel works.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting now. So I need to be more mindful of who I allow as a best friend. Like, I would not be allowing Salim the Dream as a best friend because, he'd come in and shovel
Dicks
a big
everywhere.
dick right in the middle of my island.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Bless your dream. Bless you. But, yeah, I really like that. Like, I'm keen to do more of the online play and sort of jump around and see what everyone else is building. Yeah, sort of start working out who's got what in the shops. I need to get some other different fruit trees. Like, I've got oranges on my island. I've got a couple of apple trees, but I need to get... Is it just the trees that like apples, oranges, and peaches, or is there more?
So I'm a cherry.
Okay.
And then there's apples, oranges, peaches, and pears, and coconuts.
Oh, okay. Oh, and okay. I've got a couple of coconuts. I've uprooted a few trees when I've done my little island hops. So.
Yeah. No, I've got all of them. I've actually built like an orchard, so I'll hook you up.
Hell yeah. But I'm really digging it. Grievances. One of my biggest annoyances I wish that they'd implement or have implemented would be like a creator mode when you're not in your house. Like, how you can go to creator mode in your house to move things around and it'll snap in place and give you grids. I wish they did that on the island.
Oh, like the whole map.
Yeah, like when you plant some items, like whether it be a bit of outdoor furniture or a bike or whatever, you don't really know which way it's going to land or where it's going to be placed. It's almost like a bit of roll of the dice here and there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not game breaking, but it can be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I do, if there is one thing that I do get frustrated with, is like sometimes I think I'm facing a certain way, but then it turns out I'm actually pointed in a different direction. It doesn't help that my character's doing like dodgy side eye, so I really don't know where I'm facing. So maybe that's my own problem. But actually, speaking, the only thing that I think has probably bothered me a little bit is the item durability and the fact that
I was
items
just about
break.
to ask about that.
Yeah, that's been getting to me. The fact that there's no way to actually like gauge when it's about to break, like I feel like if you're going to do it, like please just like let me know if we're almost there. Like even give me like a slight indicator if we're close. I just hate that it's just unpredictable. Like 1 minute everything's fine and then it's like it's broken. It's like really?
Yeah. Oh no, my trusty fishing rod.
I don't know if they're going to bring it in later, but I really wish that there was like a next tier item where it's unbreakable. Like in the previous games, there was like a golden axe, like that was unbreakable kind of thing. So like bringing back golden items, they might, because there is golden, like there is gold
Gold nuggets.
Nuggets, yeah. Like
I've got a couple of gold nuggets. I've
Yeah.
kept them in my little storage because I
Very
figured they'd be
smart.
needed later.
very smart.
So you can sell them for 10,000 bells each, but no, I'm keeping them
Yeah.
because I figured there'd be some kind of near unbreakable item. Like it does feel Zelda-y in that way, where they are very fragile items. Like especially when you're on the entry tier, the flimsy tier. It feels like you got about 10 swipes at some things at times, and then it's gone. So it's just a little health bar, or even when it's getting to its final 5 swings or casts, maybe have it start flashing red or something.
Yeah, something along
Just something
those
like that.
lines. Yeah, maybe like even implement maybe like repair kits or something. I just hate that.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, like I just hate that. Like I could be either like on either on the other side of the island, on a friend's island, or even on one of the island tours, and then it just breaks at the wrong time and it just screws everything up. And I understand that it's probably them thinking like, hey, this is unique, it's a new challenge, they have to be smart with what they hold, but I think it's just on the brink of like between being like a creative device of longevity and then just being borderline annoying.
I found myself carrying a workbench in my pockets just for when I was like at the other end of an island fishing or, you know, chopping trees or whatever.
Yeah.
Just so I could pop it out and just build something on the fly and keep going. It's a pain in the ass because at the start you are pretty limited on pocket space, which is your inventory. Like you've got 2 rows. I think maybe it's 10 items per row, something like that. Maybe 20
Sounds about
items you
right,
could
yeah.
hold thereabouts. And then it's 5,000 bloody Nook miles
miles,
to
yeah.
upgrade to get a 3rd tier. And then to get the 4th tier, it's 8,000 Nook miles. And they're hard to come by, especially once you've done that initial flurry of really entry-level tasks. Because I'm barely getting Nook miles these days because I've sort of smacked through so many of the various tasks and
It's the
rewards
pluses,
outside of the
man.
dailies along the top.
Dude, no, they're not dailies. They just keep refreshing. Just keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
That's how you
so-
make your Nook miles.
And then, like, to redeem your Nook miles, there's things like you can buy a big Godzilla, which is 5,000, and I've got about
I
that
don't
in my
have that.
bank again now, and I want to buy it, but then there's also, like, a lighthouse, so maybe I want to buy that to put on my island, or there's, like, a silo that I could put in the middle of the island. Like, I'm just trying to think of how to make this thing feel more alive, so I'm sort of strategically funneling my Nook miles to build the best things, whether it be a DIY recipe or just buy the item once. So
This is going to be the most Australian sentence ever, but I've actually been spending all my Nook miles to use the tour like tickets so I could find Spider Island.
yeah, because I haven't seen a spider. Like it's pretty rare and it's not a common place to be dropped. Is it?
I wish we could say that, but my partner, he got it on the second time.
Really?
Second go, he found Spider Island and he just bundled up all these spiders and he went back to the shop and sold them all, and he had like hundreds of thousands of bells. So
That would have set him off on the right spot. That's for sure. Like
yeah.
you don't start with much cash, and you're in the
No.
hole for a loan of 50,000 straight off the jump. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Nook, he owns your ass right from the jump.
He does.
He's a cheeky little raccoon, but you got to pay the piper to progress in this game. So, yeah, but I'm loving it. I'm loving everything about this game, bar a few of those little grievances we just talked about. Like, it's just easy. It's just, you lose hours in this game so quickly. Time flies by just grinding this out or renovating this space or trying to plan how things are going to go together down the line. I just wish they gave you access to build paths straight off the jump, because that
tell
has
me
no real
about
benefit
it.
to the game.
Yeah.
But at least you could work out where your shit's going to go.
I think it's just more about like how primeval your place looks until like how primitive in nature, and then it builds up kind of thing. So I think if you had fancy paths maybe at the start, it would be a bit off, I guess.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, like, so like you said, you're a newbie, this is your first game. I'm just very curious, like, based on kind of like everything that you thought you knew about the game before buying it and getting into it, like, how has it compared? How has it impressed you? Like,
I think the depth of the game was what got me the most. Like, on the surface, it's pretty simple. You're just building a world on this little island with cute little friends and whatever else, but the depth of the items available, the customization options, the day-night cycle, the amount that you can personalize this world to be your own and to be unique amongst everything else. I really like that creator option where you can get in and make your own little pixel art. I haven't really played on it too much, but just things like that, being able to make your own clothes or with your own logos or whatever you want it to say, and then that can then be represented on the the island flag and stuff like that.
I am trying to make an 8-bit logo.
I've tried and I've imported it a few times into that website, which name escapes me right
AC
now.
Patterns.
1 second, unless I closed it off my phone. It's like AC Creator or something. acpatterns.com.
Yeah.
acpatterns.com. Check that out because you can upload any graphic on there and it will convert it into a little pixel art, which you can then get a QR code to scan straight into the game. But yeah, I can't seem to nail the 8-bit logo to the degree that I'd be happy for. But yeah, it's just look on the surface, it looks really simple, real cutesy, real fun, and it is all that. But underneath that, you can be very, very particular with how you want everything to look, how you want your little island to be in its own unique way. And like I saw someone the other day turn their house into the Castlevania house, and I saw someone else like completely rebuild like an animation scene from Final Fantasy, like with little 8-bit sprites all over the walls and stuff like that. Like you can spend hours doing this stuff, and it's so fun. You can do whatever you please: bug hunting, wood chopping, treasure hunting, fishing, just dicking around with your mates. Going over to see the photographer guy in his rando log cabin. It's very casting couch, mind you.
I could not believe that, where you meet this like hippie dog and he goes, yeah, come check out my island anytime you want. I'm like, cool, sounds good. He is the only person on this island. He tells you to go inside, make yourself comfortable, and if you want to shoot some stuff, he'll be in a bit. And you walk in there and it literally is like a brown leather couch with a director's chair facing it with 2 stage lights pointed at you. And I just sat there and I went, excuse me? Animal Crossing? What the hell? Like,
yeah. And you can invite your friends in there too. Like it's I was going through that whole scene and I'm just like, wow, this would go over a lot of like kids' heads. They'd be completely naive to what's going on, but anyone of age, teenagers and up, I'd assume would go, hang on, what's going on here? Like this looks a little bit more suspect than going in and getting a simple photo. I haven't played with that yet, but you can get your little amiibos and scan them in and actually take photos with your various amiibo characters in that space, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. So you can get some portraits with characters from all types of universes.
Yeah, I've seen that there's been the inclusion of the amiibos, but they also had these cards for, is that called Happy Homemaker? That the previous game. They had these little collectible cards with scannable codes, so I believe like they are actually functional to use in this game as well. So nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm loving this game. Just little things, like the little message in the bottles that rock up on your beach with the little recipes, the little random floating presents that come in on a balloon that you got to shoot down with your slingshots. Just things like that. Like, there's so much to do, and you get excited each time you see one of those little things. Like, oh shit, could be a new recipe for, who knows, maybe it's the furniture that I've been hoping to get for so long.
Exactly.
Or a cool leather jacket or whatever.
It's like little simple, like maybe even to some people who are not familiar with the series and don't give a damn about all this happy-go-lucky shit, but like getting a letter from your neighbor, like the AI, so this character that lives in your house, and they've sent you a letter and a present because they just wanted to let you know that they think you're great, and then you're just like, aww.
It's very heartwarming, this game, and there's a lot of endearing moments, and yeah, I can see myself playing this for quite a while. Like, I've been that hooked on this. There's been the Resident Evil 3 demo came out like at the tail end of last week, same time as this release. I haven't even touched that demo, and I'm like the biggest Resident Evil fan that I know, and I haven't even played it because I've just been Animal Crossing. I barely played Doom. I've got Doom Eternal, barely touched that as well. Like, it's just been Animal Crossing New Horizons has become my life.
Could you imagine like time traveling back to, I don't know, maybe even a year ago, maybe even half a year ago, and just saying to yourself, hey, I've got to tell you, you are going to be addicted to Animal Crossing. You're not going to even play the new Resident Evil demo when it comes out, and you won't even touch Doom. You're just going to be straight Animal Crossing. You would go, yeah, right.
Yeah, I'd be like, piss off, mate. Like, you got no idea. But here we are. You know, we're in this parallel timeline where we're all about Animal Crossing New Horizons, and it's great to see, like, and it's good to see that this game has had a lot of success. Like, the gaming industry and the entertainment industry, it's on a knife's edge. I don't think gaming and things like that's going to be too heavily impacted, but I'm curious to see if we will see any of these game release dates get shifted. Like, a lot of these films are now getting shelved indefinitely for dates, so I'm curious to see if that's going to ripple through the games, but I don't think it will.
I feel like it will shift the other way. Like, granted that a lot of them now have to work from home, but I guess if some of them were just in their final stages, I wouldn't be surprised if people would be kind of just bringing them forward, because people are looking for things to do. So people are playing video games. Like, I fully believe Animal Crossing is a fantastic bloody game and it deserves all the praise that it's been getting, but it's obviously benefited from people being at home and needing something to play.
100%. But my big fear is if they do start shutting more of the retail side of it, at least here in Australia, it would impact sales because our internet's so bad. That's my biggest fear, yeah. I think, is because our internet is so average, will sales plummet in some of those regions. But yeah, like, it's reviewed well. Like, it's 91 on Metacritic, so
that's on A1,
it is getting praised
yeah.
and loved by all industry professionals. But I'm all about it. You're all about it. Seems the world is all about it. And in such a dark time at the moment, it's nice to have this cute, quirky, personality, warming game out there to provide a little distraction with all this other shit going on.
Nothing like a bit of escapism.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Animal Crossing is bringing to the table. Like, it is phenomenal. We could sit and talk about this for another few hours, but yeah, this Animal Crossing New Horizons centric episode of The Hungry Gamers has flown by. We've been chatting and riffing this game for nearly an hour, and we could talk about it in so much more detail, but I figure we might park it here for this week. We're going to be back to the usual docket of The Hungry Gamers in episode 188. It will be out on the usual release schedule, which is Monday Australian, Sunday US, and most of the rest of the world. So episode 188 will have a nice smattering of news, opinions, maybe some more updates on how Animal Crossing lives are going. But yeah, anything you want to say before we close this episode up for a couple of days?
I just say, once again, it's so amazing to see everyone enjoying this game. Please don't be afraid to share everything that you're doing in Animal Crossing on our Discord. I'd love to see everyone's homes. I'd love to see people's islands. I'd love to see their unique villages and, head to our Discord. Share away. I love seeing everyone's stuff.
Hell yeah. So 8bitnation.net is the central hub with direct links to that Discord, to our Facebook page, to our web store, or you could go shop 8bit.net if you want to go there as well. Get yourself some sweet swag. And then 8bit.net or youtube.com/weare8bit for our video content as well. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe us and all the other podcasts within the hashtag 8bit collective, because those reviews and ratings help keep the emotional lights on in our hearts. And a lot of people need that right now with shit going on. So just spare 30 seconds, chuck a review up on Apple Podcasts or your podcast player of choice, just so we can see what's going on. And, make sure you guys stay safe out there, stay healthy, stay smart. But until next time, 8-Bit Nation, we're going to be back for episode 188 of the Hungry Games podcast. Much love.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.